Hi everyone! My name is Sandra Faustina and I'm also the founder of Movement Solutions. If you're new to our channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you've been here for a while, here's a kiss for you because I'm so excited today to be talking to you about our Marley Mats. So as you know, Free Movement has been around since 2014 and we have evolved so much, but one of the main things that we realized that a lot of dancers in Singapore and all around the world, especially in Canada and Australia and more, and even Indonesia, and we've also sent to the Philippines, so many places, it's crazy, is that our Marley Mats have been like the hottest topic amongst dancers, because the thing is, so many of us, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, has been stuck at home and we've really needed to have a home studio all done up. So today I'm gonna help you with choosing your very own Marley Mats if you haven't had yours already, and how you're going to choose that. Okay, so right behind me here are Vivace Marley Mats. So these are 5mm Marley Mats. So as you can see, the height is at 1.8 meters. Okay, I'm 163. So that gives you a little bit more perspective. So I'm 163 cm. Alright, these are 180 cm. And then this one over here is the 1 meter one, is the 100 cm Marley Mat. Okay, so when you get your Marley Mats, okay, we definitely recommend getting a size as big as you possibly can fit at home. Okay, the reason why I say that is because so many people have said like, okay, you know what, I'm just gonna choose like a Marley Mat, I'm gonna save money, I'm gonna choose a small one. But if you have space at home, choose a big one, trust me, because the thing is, ultimately the Marley Mats are here for a long time. Okay, our Marley Mats last for decades and decades and decades, alright? So you don't have to think like it's a one-time investment and it's a waste of money. It's not. If you ever want to change your Marley Mats, or if you want to upsize in future, you can always resell your Marley Mats. Don't throw them away, because it would save someone else's life literally by, passing on your second-hand Marley Mat to someone, okay? So always go for a size as big as possible, because remember, as a dancer, if you're doing it for fitness as well, okay, you're going to have to travel a lot. So whether you're doing your jumps and your turns, or you're across the floors, you're definitely going to travel. And if you're going to travel, you kind of need to make sure that it's a big enough size for you to travel. If not, it's going to be really hard. Okay, so definitely if your house only has space for the 1.8 by 1 meter Marley Mat, feel free, by all means, that's great. Okay, but if you have space for a bigger Marley Mat, no problem, go ahead, get the big one. Trust us, because we have so many people who got the small one and they were like, oh my gosh, I should have gotten the big one. I'm like, yeah, I told you, you should, because you're going to travel. And the thing is, the Marley Mats are not just for the dancer at home, it's actually for the whole family to work out as well. So take it this way, it's kind of like exercise mat for everyone. Okay, everyone. All right, so that's one aspect of it. Now the next thing we're going to talk about is which Marley Mat you should choose, and also what colors there are and stuff like that. So I'll just go through one by one the different Marley Mats that we have. Okay, so the one that we have over here is the Vivace Marley Mat. So this is the 5mm thick one. Okay, so this one here. So this is 5mm thick. Okay, it comes in grey and in black. Alright, so this one comes in two colors, grey and black. Okay, this is the 5mm thick Vivace Marley Mat. Now, if you do ballet, if you do jazz, if you do off the top of my head, like why am I not thinking of so many things? Okay, if you do gymnastics, if you do acrobatics, alright, this is the Marley Mat that you should get, because why? It's 5mm thick and it's currently our thickest Marley Mat. Alright, so definitely go for this. This is also our newest addition. Alright, the next Marley Mat that we have is our Studio Marley Mat. Okay, so these two over here are our Studio Marley Mat. These are 3.5mm thick. Now, these Marley Mats are also great for soft shoes. Same with the Vivace Marley Mat, which is you can use it for ballet, for jazz. You can also use it for acrobatics, but although I always recommend the thicker one for acro. And then you could always do it for lyrical, for contempt, for street dance as well. So street dancers typically go for either the Vivace or the Studio Marley Mat also. Okay, so these ones are all great for soft shoes or even street shoes, alright? Then the next one that we have would be our Maple Oak Marley Mat. So our Maple Oak Marley Mat comes in two colors. So this is the grey maple, and then the one in our studio floor is actually the maple color. I'll show you in a bit. So the Maple Oak Marley Mat has a particular coating, all right, so this is also good for tap shoes and for heels, okay? So if you do tap, this Marley Mat is tap approved, okay? And then if you use heels to dance, you can definitely use these mats as well. Now, the thing is, will there be dents in the mat? Yes, there will be. I'll explain why. This mat is 4.5 mm thick, which also means that there is a cushion layer, okay? So it doesn't mean that the mat is super hard and super tough until it doesn't, you know, create any impressions. So when there's weight on it, there would still be impressions, especially if it's heels or if it's like really, really sharp objects in that sense, okay? Not that, yeah, like sharp objects. There will still be impressions, but the thing is, it will not affect the use of the mat, okay? So if it's impressed, I mean, if it's compressed in that sense by the heels or the shoes or whatever, okay, typically it would bounce back after a while, right? You'll see the impression, but it's going to bounce back. So don't worry so much about it, because why? The main thing about this particular Marley Mat is wanted to make sure that there's enough cushion, because it's the main thing. If you're going to fall, if you're going to, you know, drop down and impact, if you're going to do a jumps and leaps and stuff like that. And the thing about dance is it's just getting crazier and crazier, and techniques are getting crazier. So these mats are great, okay, for all shoes. It's also great for ballet, it's also great for jazz, it's also great for acro, everything. So it's an all-in-one mat, okay? So this comes in two colors, grey maple and maple, okay? So the only thing to note about these Marley Mats, the maple or Marley Mat, is that the sound as you tap, okay, it's not going to be as loud as if it were 2 mm Marley Mat, okay? Because the Marley Mat is actually 4.5 mm thick, which means that the thicker it is, the more it insulates the sound, the more it's soundproofing it in that sense, okay? So that's why you're not going to hear the sound that much, okay? But like I said, if you have neighbors that are constantly complaining about the vibration, they're constantly complaining about the sound and saying that you're disturbing them and stuff like that, this is a mat that you want to get. So either the Maple Oak Marley Mat or the Vivace Marley Mat is what we would really, really recommend. So most of the people that come to us and go like, oh my god, so much problems with my neighbors and stuff like that, okay, therefore, one of these two, okay, just depending on which you like better and which fits the aesthetics of your home, okay? So the next thing we're going to talk about, okay, we've talked about size, we've talked about which Marley Mat to choose depending on the kind of dance and fitness activities that you use, okay? If you're not sure, there's a table on all of our product pages as well, on our Marley Mat product pages, so go ahead to read that table if you're not sure, okay? Oh, before I forget, I wanted to say we actually have a new 2mm Marley Mat going to come up soon, and it's going to be the reversible Marley Mat, but we've not announced it yet, we've not taken our product pictures and stuff like that, so wait for it to happen. It's gonna happen very, very soon, okay? So super excited also, so watch out for it. I've been like waiting for it to happen for such a long time, so that's gonna come soon, okay? Next thing we're gonna talk about would be aesthetics, and for that, let's go over to the studio. Okay, so we're going to talk about aesthetics and essentially how you should choose your Marley Mat, which Marley Mat to choose and stuff like that. I'm not going to talk about bars today, I'm going to talk about Marley Mats only, okay? So, question, which Marley Mat should you choose? For instance, in the Free Movement Studio, I've decided to use our Maple Oak Marley Mat in the color Maple, okay? So which is this one here. This is grey maple, and the one on our floor that you see here is the color Maple. So the reason why I wanted to use the Maple Oak Marley Mat in the first place as compared to the other mats is because first and foremost in the studio we're using the Marley Mat, or rather using the studio for many different genres of dance. Now, if you open your own ballet studio and you're only purely doing ballet, any of the mats work because you're only doing ballet, okay? If you're doing a street dance studio, again, any of the mats work. If you're doing a, for example, salsa studio, okay, go for the Maple Oak Marley Mat, alright? So those are the first considerations that you should choose according to your genre, okay? The next consideration would then be, of course, the users of it or the multi-genre users of it, okay? If it's not just for one genre, you've got to consider all of the genres, alright? So that's the second thing. Then the third thing was I wanted the aesthetics and the feel of it to be a little bit different. The current feel that I had for the studio when we first built it was that I wanted it to feel a little bit warmer, a little bit like the old studios. So if you think about it, in the olden days, the kind of dance studios were more like wooden floors. It was never Marley's, because there was no Marley at a point of time. There were no Marley Mats at a point of time. So it was all just a pure wooden, studio, which was in my head the most pure concept of what a dance studio was. So that was the first thing that I wanted, because we were recreating this whole studio from scratch. And then the next thing was, of course, like between the colors, grey maple and maple, I wanted something that when people came into the studio, they would feel happy. They would feel like it's very warm. Because if you think about it, the cooler the color, okay, the more, this is just from my experience. So the warmer the color, the more usually more vibrant it is, okay? The cooler the colors, usually it changes the mood a lot. It becomes a lot more still. So that's kind of why I chose the maple oak Marley Mat in the color maple, because I really wanted the warmth in it to really pop in the whole studio. Okay, that being said, I love the grey maple. That's like one of our best sellers. So yeah, just putting it out there, alright? So then of course, the next thing would then be why not go for the Vivace Marley Mat? Okay, now the thing with the Vivace Marley Mat is you got to realize that you can't use heels and tap shoes on it, because it's not approved for that. Alright, so that was definitely not our consideration here. But if you don't do tap, you don't use heels, this is a great Marley Mat for you. Definitely recommend the Vivace Marley Mat, and this comes in grey and in black. Black has been getting a lot more popular as well, so it's been interesting to see the differences, okay? And then we also have our Studio Marley Mat. So this is the 3.5mm one. One thing to consider is also whether or not your floor is even or uneven. If your floor is very, very even, you can consider going for a thinner Marley Mat, okay? Because you think about it, the thicker the Marley Mat, the more it's able to even out the floor. The thinner the Marley Mat, the more you're able to see the unevenness of the floor. Okay, so sometimes you see in certain studios, I'm not going to name the studios, but sometimes you see in certain studios, you see ripples in the Marley Mat, or sometimes you see that there are a lot of creases and stuff like that. Now the first thing you got to realize is that number one, okay, it also depends on the weather. So in Singapore, it's usually very hot and stuff like that. So sometimes it actually, expands and contracts. So it's just depending on your Marley Mat and how it was installed and stuff like that. But a lot of the times it's because of the unevenness of the floor. Okay, so that's something you definitely want to consider. We do build a lot of commercial studios, and we do build a lot of home studios. So we definitely always say, if you're renovating, always tell your contractor to just level the floor, level the floor, level the floor. Okay, once you level the floor, you lay your Marley Mat on top. It's always good that you can bring it up next time and move it around. The other way, if you don't want to level the floor, if let's say you're renting a space, is you can do a sprung floor and then put your Marley Mat on top, because the sprung floor also helps to level out the floor. So these are certain different options that you can have, okay? So when choosing your Marley Mats, okay? So when our 2mm reversible Marley Mats come out, those will be a great option as well, especially if you put it on top of the sprung floor, because that's gonna be amazing! Oh my god, I'm so excited for it. Okay, so yes, that's definitely how you should choose your Marley Mats, okay? So just be planning, if the interior design of your home suits a little bit more of the blacks, alright? So let's say a black bar, black Marley Mat and stuff like that, definitely go for that. So in a sense, if your home interior is a little bit more of the industrial feel, the people who have the more industrial feel tend to go for black. Those who prefer a little bit of a lighter feel but a very minimalistic look tend to go for the grays. Then those who, so this is the industrial and those a little bit more minimalistic. And then for those who really like the wooden floor look, but really still want the safety of the floors, that would be the maple oak Marley Mat. Okay, so these are the differences that you should definitely consider, because after all, aesthetic is going to be really, really important. If your home is of a certain theme, you kind of want to go with the theme of your home as well. Okay, so take it from me, I know how it is. So yes, that's definitely what I recommend. Now, after you've actually chosen your Marley Mat, that's when you're going to start choosing your bars, okay? So again, our Bar Pro is actually color customizable, it is size customizable, and it's also height customizable, only for a Bar Pro. Okay, so if you're looking for a bar to match your Marley Mat, or if you want our Bar Pro in black, you can customize that. Just reach out to us and we'll help you with that, because we'll ask you what's the height that you want, you know, do you want single bar, double bar, but usually I would recommend double bar, although I do have some very established dancers who tell me like, okay, they only want a single bar because sometimes, you know, when you do your leg work, you're gonna hit the bar. If you're European or if you are very tall, because usually in Asia our heights are not as tall, so then the bar height might have to be raised, because what I usually would recommend would be where the top bar height is, it should be above your belly button. Okay, so some people prefer it higher, some people prefer it lower, you know, just depends on your personal preference as well. Okay, so I just want to say thank you so much for joining me today in this video. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, because it will mean so much to us as a small business. And I'm so thankful for all of your support. Do also hit the notification bell so that you know when I have a new video coming up every single week. I hope you've enjoyed this video and found it very, very useful. If you're looking for anything else, drop it down in the comments below or reach out to us over email, Instagram, Facebook, you know, go check us out over there as well. Or if you want to learn how to sew, we do have our other brand, so that's at Free Movement Sewing, where you can learn how to sew dance wear and fitness wear, which essentially is us specializing in stretch fabrics, because there are not many people out there teaching that too. So go check out our other channel, so that's at Free Movement Sewing. But if not, I'll see you next week. Take care, stay safe, and keep dancing at home. Bye! Ew, this person hasn't collected hers. What did she get? She got a Bar Elite double bar and the Maple Oak Marley Mat, the color maple, in the size 1.8 by 3. Great size. I love that. Let's see the next person here. She also haven't collected her Marley Mat. What did she get? Okay. Boop, 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 boop.